Good evening and welcome to Inside Red Dragon Sports. I'm your host, Geoff Hassard, Assistant Director of Athletics and Sports Information Director here at SUNY Oneonta. And we're still in the midst of, or just getting into our winter championship season. And tonight we got the men's and women's track and field program in to talk about the next month or so and what's coming up for them on the schedule. So please join me after the break where I'll be joined by head track and field coach Matt LaPiccolo.
WUOW 104.7 FM is the region's premier radio station, offering award-winning programming from National Public Radio and Pacifica Radio networks, giving you the chance to become more informed about the arts, information, and entertainment from around the country and around the world. WUOW is your community radio station. Join us and support the sound.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now in studio is head track and field coach Matt LaPiccolo. Welcome back to the show, Matt.
Thanks, Geoff.
A lot of buzz going on around the track and field program as we get into our championship season. Next month, 3 weeks, we've got back-to-back weeks of all championships. Why don't we first talk about the first one that'll be coming up, which will be the SUNY Championships.
Yeah, SUNY will be on Sunday this year on February 26th. So we're heading out to Hobart as a neutral site again for our championship there. And then we'll follow that up with the ECAC Championships at the Armory in New York the first weekend in March. And then the NCAAs are out in Iowa this year, the second weekend in March.
Okay, well right now, people are starting to bang out some great performances. Track field, men and women, we're moving up nationally ranked in the women's side. Our men jumped 71 spots this week after some great performances at Boston University. What is it about Boston University that makes that place so great? We always run well there.
Well, we set up the schedule so that we do a lot of progressing, in the early part of the season, so that when we go to Boston to run on the 200-meter bank track, that we're ready to go. It's one of the fastest bank tracks in the country, and it's also one of the most competitive meets in the country across all divisions. So, we go up against a lot of Division I competition, which brings out the best in us on a historically every year. So, it helps out a lot.
Yeah. Now, when you're doing that, when you're looking at other, because of course the national championships are all run on flat tracks. How does that equate from what's the difference in between, like a flat track and a bank track?
The bank tracks obviously run a lot faster, certainly on the track side of things, a field that, that doesn't really change a whole lot. But there are conversion factors for each event, and they are separate for men and women. So you do lose a little bit of time. Every time gets converted to a flat track time from our times at the Boston University, for example, or at the Armory in New York. So they are converted times, and the NCAA has a whole specific protocol for that for each event.
Now, we were off air before we got on here. We were talking about our national ranking and how TFRS, which is the track and field database for all the performances, and how they've come up with this mathematical equation to really, you'd be pretty close. I mean, it's got to be pretty close on how we think we would do in a national meet with the performances that we have from our men and women. And it's only recent. This year's the first year that they did, or last year they had a national ranking?
Last year was the first year for the national rankings. It's a little more elaborate with the data they've accumulated over the last 2 years, so it's a little more accurate as we go forward. And it's pretty cool to see because the national rankings are done the same way as the regional rankings in terms of their formulas and stuff, but they do differ because they're also compared against local competition compared to the national competition. So.
And our performances, we have some athletes who are, we'll have Sarah Timmons on. She's #1 in the country in the weight throw right now. We'll certainly talk to Sarah about that. But what's it like to have our athletes that are kind of in the top 8 in some of those events nationally?
Well, obviously we've had some pretty good history here the last few years, and I was just doing some calculations, and we've actually taken athletes to the NCAA championships 17 straight times, starting in 2003. It was the first time we went outdoors. So I've taken at least one athlete 17 straight times to the NCAA championships. So this year, obviously, Sarah's certainly going to get into the meet, and we're trying to get the guys in as well, which look good so far. So hopefully this will be the 18th time that we go, and it'll be nice to get the men and the women women to the same national championship. Last year, the women kind of presided over the program a little bit, getting to the NCAAs, but we're hoping to get the men back to the NCAA championships the first time since 2010.
Right, now the NCAA has changed the way you qualify for the meet. They used to have a provisional standard and an automatic standard. Now they use what's this declining or descending performance list?
It's similar to the way it was. There's no automatic time or distance that you hit that you go to the meet. They essentially they'll take the top 13 men and they'll take the top 15 women that are declared for the NCAA championship. So essentially, there's a big descending order list, and who's ever declared off that, they'll take to the NCAA championships.
Now, if there's like 3 or 4, 5 people that might have the same time or distance, I mean, do they make up for that somewhere?
They have a tie-breaking system with all the data that they have, and actually you can talk to Sean a little bit about that because he's actually tied for 5th in the country right now. And fortunately, his 2 great runs at Boston University actually put him into 5th, and he owns a tiebreaker from his 2nd fastest time at Boston University. So, so we're sitting pretty good right now in terms of the tiebreakers. We'd like to run a little bit quicker to guarantee that we get in there, so it's good.
Now it just seems funny to talk about tiebreakers in an individual sport. You know, it's like and so in the field events it would be the next best throw or the next best jump.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
So we're getting into championship season. SUNYACs are up first. Our women indoors last year finished 4th.
Yes.
And our men were 7th.
Yes.
How do we look going into this year? I mean, we certainly have a lot more depth. I mean, we have over 35 new runners, jumpers, throwers this year in our program. So talk a little bit about the impact they've had on our program.
Well, certainly that's the name of the game in track and field. I mean, there's 20 some events indoors, maybe a couple more outdoors, so you have to fill with multiple people. So it is certainly a numbers game. It also is a quality game, and we try to play both. And with our increased numbers, obviously, has come increased quality on the program on both sides. So you know, obviously we were 4th on the women's side. We always want to be in that top half of the conference, so that's certainly a goal for both the men's and women's program. And you know, always getting into that top 3, and you know, that's the ultimate goal, to try to, you know, once you're in the top 3, you might be able to win, and that's what it's all about.
Because usually the points that separate 1st and 3rd, it could be like 8 points or something. So it's a matter of maybe a 3rd or a 4th in some other event.
It's a matter of the 8th place 1 point in a lot of events, and that you know, everybody's got a role on the team. You know, whether you know, we talked to Sean and Sarah about winning, or anybody else to score a point, and they're just as important.
Right. Now, depth. What events are we deeper in this year that might help us get into that top half, or possibly maybe on the top?
Well, certainly on the sprint side, Coach Joe Reed obviously has done a great job with our sprint crew. There's a lot of our points are coming from them on the men's side right now, and that's kind of what was missing a little bit last year. And you know, we got some good young guys, you know, coupled with Sean Bernstein and Sean Wren and Jesse Dobson, the old guys on the team. So we got a nice little training crew there that certainly made a big difference. And then on the distance side, Angelo Silico's done a great job, obviously recruiting distance runners and filling out all those spots to you know, take on Geneseo and Cortland and go head to head with them and score points against them. And then the throws, that you can talk to Sarah, we're very deep in that. Obviously, we have the best throw in the country, but you know, we have got straight 6 guys on the throw squad, and so we're doing pretty well as far as
now
that goes.
that throw squad, and I'll talk a little bit to Sarah about it. I mean, they're carrying chains around, they're carrying all kinds of implements and equipment around. I mean, is that's their training protocol to
Well, it's part of their weightlifting protocol, so unfortunately we have to store them elsewhere other than the weight room. So it's part of the training in order to get the change to the workout room.
Right.
So
now, of course, we look pretty deep in the middle distance area as well. I mean, BU, you know, we did have 7 guys under 2 minutes in the 800, which is pretty incredible. Will any of those guys stay in the 800, or can they bump up to the mile, which is indoors?
Certainly. You know, that's kind of the group that I've been working with a lot. We actually have 8 guys under 2 minutes on the SUNYAC performance list. Some of the distance guys dropped down. So, you know, they kind of mix and match in the mile and stuff, and, you know, distance medley relay. And so we're training so that we can be good in both the 800 and the mile on both those sides. So
now, that also would give you flexibility in the DMR, the The 4x4, that kind of
yeah,
stuff?
Yeah, certainly. We have, alternates for the 4x4 to the sprint guys.
Right.
We have the DMR we got to fill for the SUNY Championship, the 8, the mile. And then for ECACs, we also can throw in the 4x8 there too. So
right.
There's lots of events that need to be filled that way, and we have a real quality group that's doing that right now.
Now, how does that work 4x4? Our guys are 5th right now in the country after their performance at BU. You say alternates. You get to the meet. Do you bring an extra guy? Do they come with you in case somebody gets hurt during training, or how does that work with an alternate?
For the NCAA championships?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible to bring an alternate to the meet. If somebody else gets in a different event, they can become an alternate. So there's different ways you can do it. So, I mean, at ECACs and SUNY, pretty much we can run anybody that's at the meet.
Oh, okay. Now, moving into like the ECACs, now we certainly have had some success, especially women's outdoors ECACs. Is that just another meet to try and get better times, or do we actually go there and try and, win it if we can? Or
for the most part, we use it as a last chance qualifier for the NCAA championships. So, we're looking for Sarah to throw a little bit farther. We're looking for Sean to get a couple more hundreds, and the 4x4 get another, another half second, and Lauren to improve her time. So that's the main focus of it. We've been good enough in the past where we had that across a lot of event groups. So the team points came, and we've won it a couple times on the women's side. So that's kind of the gravy of it. If we scored points, that's cool too. Yeah. But we're really worried about the team score at the SUNY championships. That's where we're gonna really come together that way.
So when we look at coming up, who are some of the athletes, maybe some newcomers that we should be looking for when the SUNY results are going on? I mean, who are some of the newcomers that we might see show up in the?
Well, we'll start with the sprint side because you'll talk to Sean a little bit. But a freshman on the sprint side is Rob Farrell. He's also a hurdler. He's #1 in the conference in the 60 hurdles. And then I guess you could call Jesse Dobson a newcomer because he hasn't run indoor for us, but he is a senior. And he's really gotten fit and fast in the last year, and he's been anchoring relays for us and running really fast in the 400. So he's certainly some to watch. And then in the middle distance side, we got a lot of young people: Andrew and David Bahaneke, Bobby Gallant, Jesse Hamway on the distance side, and of course, the veterans of the crew: John Longo, Jared Reynolds, and so on and so forth. So, Chris Harvey's in that mix as well. On the middle distance side, on the women's, Jacqueline Masucci's doing a great job. She's qualified for ECACs in the 800, so it's a nice compliment to have Lauren there. Brittany Kacheri, Lacey Newland, kind of a veteran in the 400 crew. Kenny Outram in the hurdles. So we have some nice depth as far as that goes in those events.
Now, how important it is to have some of these athletes who, like a Rob Farrell, who looks like he can run anywhere from 60 to 400. I mean, how important it is to have guys like that, or girls, in the program for us?
Absolutely. Rob's actually really talented over a couple different events. Obviously, short hurdles indoors, long hurdles outdoors, so the 400 hurdles, that's what he made the state meet in last year in high school. So obviously he can run an open 4, he can run a 2. So he's all around really good athlete for us. So it certainly helps out a lot.
Now, when they train together, freshmen, seniors, how good is that for them? Like a Sean Bernstein working out with like a Rob Farrell. I mean, is he, passing down that knowledge that he's learned over the years? I mean, obviously they're being coached by Joe Reed, who was a 7-8-time All-American, national champion. I mean, how does that help?
Obviously, Joe's been the catalyst for everything in terms of the sprints and hurdles crew right now, and all the guys have bought into what he's selling, and all the women have bought into, and it's pretty cool to see the dynamic change over the last couple of years in terms of this group. And now that both Sean Wren and Sean Bernstein are now older, they're the guys leading the way with these young guys, and they come in, they have a great time at practice every day, and they work hard and they run fast and lift heavy, and it trickles down the line, and it trickles over to the women, and so it's a pretty exciting group to be part of right now. It's a pretty cohesive unit, and that's evidenced by how fast we run.
Right. Now it seems like it works that same way with the field athletes. I mean, Sarah's kind of taken the whole group under her wing, and I think it's great to see that as a leader in your program. How important is it to have someone like that passing on that?
Well, you never you never know how the dynamic's going to be. I mean, Sarah certainly is the mother hen of the group, and but it's funny how all the guys just fall in line right behind and listen to her. You know, she's totally bought into the program and what Angela has helped her with, and you know, and the guys see that and how much better she's gotten since she's been here, and they want to do the same thing, and they just follow right along. So it's actually a pretty cool dynamic there as well.
It sounds like we have tremendous leadership in our program right now. It sounds like all of our performers are performing the way you would like them to at this point in the season anyway, and as we get into that championship portion of the schedule coming up, we certainly are going to look for all of them in the results, because it sounds like we're going to have quite a few athletes that are going to be in the top 8 in many events, the depth of our team. So we certainly want to wish you good luck.
Thank you.
And we want to thank you for coming by.
All right. Thanks, Geoff.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank head track and field coach Matt LaPiccolo for coming by tonight. And after the break, I'll be joined by senior Sarah Timmons.
What makes D3 special is the ability to participate in my team and within the broader community.
The perfect ending to a perfect season.
Being a D3 student athlete has completely expanded my life.
I learned how to lead. I really found a voice.
What time is it?
It's more about the experience rather than just a sport itself.
Without the experience of being a Division III student athlete, I wouldn't be the person who I am today.
NCAA Division III. Discover, develop, dedicate.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now in studio is senior Sarah Timmons of the track and field team. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Thanks, Geoff.
Actually, welcome back. You were on last year, and you kind of filled us in on being a junior on our team, and now you're senior, culminating 4-year experience, and certainly you're performing as expected. I mean, how do you feel about how you're doing right now?
It was a little shocking, honestly. I mean, I wanted to do well this year, but I never expected to be first in the nation. So it was pretty exciting. And
the 20-pound weight throw, my previous place where I was, when throwers improve a lot of times, it can be in feet. It's not inches or like tenths of seconds like in track, it's huge. But you went like 6 feet further than you had ever thrown before, which did you feel like you threw it that far? I mean, did you just feel it? It was something.
Well, it was one of those things where everything kind of felt right. Everything came together at the right time in the right place. So it didn't feel that far, so I was very surprised when I heard the mark.
Now, that day you actually were right around the same distances that whole day. You had, all your throws were over 17 meters, I believe. So, I mean, that's, so you think that day everything just seemed to be going right for you?
Yeah, we had a good practice that week, so something clicked in my mind, so it all came together right that day.
Now, do you feel pressure being #1 right now?
It's a little stressful, but I try not to think about it too much. Just try to do what I need to do every week and just stay where I am or get better. So.
Now, when you say do what you need to do, because of course I see you walk through the halls with your gang, and like you said to Matt, you're carrying chains and all kinds of implements that you work when you weight train and stuff. What kind of an experience? I mean, when you were in high school, I mean, any of this stuff, did you do any of that?
I never lifted in high school, so coming here, I saw a big improvement from high school to my freshman year just from lifting. And then even this year, Angela worked a lot with the weightlifting, and I got a lot stronger. So it definitely helps a lot getting stronger.
Now, what kind of lifting do you do?
We do a lot of different stuff. Right now we're kind of switching into the more Olympic lifting, cleans and that kind of stuff. But in the fall we do a lot of benching, squatting, deadlifting. And we use the chains too. So.
Yeah. Now that would be more, so in the fall you're mostly doing a lot of preparatory stuff to get to that point.
Really heavy lifting.
Okay, to get to that point where now you're just trying to make it work better.
Yep.
Now for you, you're the Matt said you're like the mother hen of the group, and it's really, to watch everybody kind of follow along. What's it like to be a leader?
Well, I had experience with it in high school, and I think it just comes naturally to me because I'm the oldest of the 4 kids in my family, so I kind of take everyone under my wing and try to tell them what to do. The guys this year are great. All the freshmen have been amazing, and they're some of my best friends now. So they listen to me. They ask me what they should be doing, how when they should go to bed, what they should eat, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
now, of course, for you, it was Kevin Harding, right? That was kind of maybe the main guy to pass on a lot of this stuff, the lifting. I mean, because of course he was quite I mean, he was a physical presence himself as far as a big guy, and he certainly improved over his 4 years, and certainly Angelo being a graduate. he was here. Now, were you a freshman when he was?
No, he had just left.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So all that lifting and stuff that I know Kevin and Angelo probably came from Angelo to get to Kevin, right?
Yeah, well, when I first got here, it was Mike DeVasto and Steph Gordon.
Mike DeVasto, yes.
So I actually, Angelo actually wrote my lifts freshman year, which I didn't know until last year. So that was a funny tidbit.
Yeah, now, Mike DeVasto, another someone who came along in 4 years, and he was a SUNY champion. I mean, so
yep.
Our field athletes, our throwers are certainly now making an impact, not on just in the SUNY, but it looks like nationally. And of course, now you haven't been to the national meet, and of course this year could be your first experience. I mean, you looking forward to it?
I am. I actually went out with Eric Thies and some other people last year to watch outdoor, which was a great experience just to see what it was like. So I'm glad I went out there, but I'm very excited to go this year. It'll be a good experience. I've never been west of Ohio, so we'll see what's out there. Right now,
4 years, your experience. Certainly, we know that you've done a great job for us. Student athlete. What about being here at Oneonta? Again, has been like a standout for you.
Well, I'm a bio major, so the bio department has been really great. The professors are awesome. I talk to a couple of my professors all the time, just in the hallway, go visit them in their offices sometimes, even when I don't have them for class. Right. It's a great program. I really like it.
Now, being a biology major, do you think that that's helped you with your training for track?
Yeah, I think so, because I took a lot of the personal training and like anatomy and stuff like that, which helps with the muscle development and like just understanding what I'm doing and how it relates to my throwing and all the other events in track too.
Now, certainly working out is one thing, but it seems like you've been able to translate it in, like you said, understanding like what goes into it and why I'm doing it. And do you think that that's really been the reason why you've seen such success?
I like to think so. I grew up on a farm too, which helps just translating strength into productive things, I guess you could say. So it's been interesting. Well,
certainly as we what are you looking forward to in the next month?
Well, going to nationals, I'd love to win. That would be awesome. But really, All-American is what I'm really looking for. So.
Well,
hopefully.
we certainly hope that you get there, because you've earned it. I mean, you've worked so hard for us, and we certainly are glad that you're reaching those goals. So we certainly hope that you can be an All-American.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank Sarah Timmons for coming by tonight. And joining me after the break will be junior Sean Bernstein.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool. Really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this. So why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately. Because time lost is brain lost.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is junior track and field athlete Sean Bernstein. Welcome to the show, Sean.
Thank you, Geoff. It's great to be here.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Name's Sean. I'm a junior mass communication major. Run the short sprints, 60 meters, 400 meters. From Baldwinsville, New York. I was saying it's about 10 minutes west of Syracuse.
Okay. Now you are, you and along with Sean Wren, and we mentioned Jesse Dobson, Coach LaPiccolo talked about him as well. You guys are kind of the veterans of the sprint group. Obviously, you've been performing extremely well in the 60 and the 200 indoors, and also on our relay team. Which event do you like better?
I think personally, my favorite event is still the 200 meters because it's a little longer than 60 meters. Because sometimes I find it's over sooner than I'd want.
Right.
And then 400 meters, maybe a little longer than I'd prefer, so I think the 200 is perfect, right in the middle.
Well, it looks like in looking at the way you train, because when we get to watch you in the gym and watch your stride and stuff, it looks like you do have that right 200. 60 meters you might not get enough speed going, and it looks like 200 you can just keep it going, and once you generate your momentum and stuff, it just seems like it just carries you through the 200. Now, at the BU meet, you almost broke the SUNY record in the 200. I mean, are you getting to that point? They don't compete the 200 in the indoor championships, but certainly in the outdoors, you'll certainly be up there nationally. I mean, what's it like to be a nationally ranked runner?
I mean, it's all very new for me, just because last year I was hurt most of the year, and with the 200, I didn't even know about. I was that close to soon at the conference record. I was, going to the meet looking to break the school record, which is 21:84, and then I ran much faster than that. So it's very, very nice that all the training is kind of paying off for me.
Right now, because you mentioned last year you were injured. Of course, now as a sprinter, the training that's involved to get your muscles, getting going back the way you want them. What kind of a process was that for you?
Well, it was a long process because every time I got injured, it was go through physical therapy and rehabilitation. And I think over the summer it helped a lot because I did a lot of base work. I did a lot of weight training. And I think another big thing that definitely helped was that I guess, like Matt said, I bought more into Joe Reed's training. I changed my form. I changed all the technical aspects that I think would, prevented me from getting injured again this season.
Right. Now, it's, when people talk like running form and stuff, it's amazing that something as small as, running more upright or running more, So what kinds of things has Coach Reed, done for you that has made you a better runner?
Well, I think in years past, I was more concerned with just running, and I think with Joe, he focused more on getting my knees up and shortening my stride length and having the frequency be a lot quicker. I think that affected everything a lot, and getting my knees and legs in front of me, not behind me.
Right.
So that definitely changed everything astronomically.
Now, do you guys do a lot of in-season weight training?
Yes, in season we do a lot of, 2 or 3 times a week, but it's more geared towards like less weight and faster repetitions to build more on your fast twitch muscles.
Oh, okay, for that explosive, explosive power. So what are you looking for in the, we got championship right back to back, I mean, what are you looking forward to, first of all, in the SUNYAC championships?
SUNYACs, obviously want to do as best as I can in my personal events. And overall, team-wise, because last year was kind of an off year, I want to, team-wise, really, redeem ourselves.
Right.
And then after that, obviously, NCAA is going to be my primary concern.
Now, being in that top 5, in those events, running with the top runners in the country, I mean, when you came here, did you think that you'd be in that kind of a class?
I hoped maybe one day the training would pay off. Obviously, last year, with all the injuries, it's kind of got a little more pessimistic, but I mean, this year has just been phenomenal.
Now, to carry that through, I mean, Coach LaPiccolo says that he, puts the schedule together in such a way that, you just keep running faster and getting on better tracks. And so do you feel yourself getting to that point where, 3 weeks from now, where, you're sitting at the Nationals and, you'll just run as fast as you have in the indoor?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I really don't think it's a fluke that you can look every single week, it's faster, 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 and every week you just feel better and stronger. And so I think, come time for SUNYACs and NCAAs, you'll feel the best times to run all season.
Right. Now, that just quickly, the transition between indoor and outdoors, you look forward to the outdoor season. Time off, is it good for you? I mean, do you take time off just to get yourself regroup for some of the different events in outdoor track?
I think maybe a little time off, like a week. But I mean, personally, as soon as outdoor starts, I really want to. Because outdoor, I love outdoors, so I really want to get going and jump right into it away.
So outdoor, you would prefer over just because of the number of events, or just because of the fact that it's outdoors, or the tracks, or what about outdoor that you enjoy more than?
I think personally for me is the 200 meters. One, it's like a nationally contested event, and 2, running on the indoor bank track, I'm like a taller person, so it's very hard for me to navigate those tight turns. So outdoors, it's a lot easier, so I can run a lot faster.
Right. Well, we certainly know that you are running faster because, as you said, we look at the results every week, and it just seems like you're taking off hundreds and tenths and stuff like that, which is pretty hard to do in a short race such as a 60-meter dash. We want to wish you good luck and hope that you stay injury-free and healthy. And in a few, maybe in the next month, we'll, be calling you an All-American.
Let's hope so.
Well, we certainly
Thanks
thank
a
you
lot.
for coming by. All right, well, I'd like to thank all the members of the track and field program for coming by tonight, head coach Matt LaPiccolo and Sean Bernstein and Sarah Timmons. And as always, you can follow their results on our website. And you also, if you go to their track, you can follow them on their Twitter account. It's Oneonta Cross Country XCTF, I believe, so that you can follow them on Twitter. Certainly always check out the highlights of the championship meets. They are coming up. And thank you for joining me this week, and we'll see you next time on Inside Red Dragon Sports.